Hi, my name is Phil. I like to talk about politics, and with Boris Johnson promising to present his withdrawal legislation to Parliament next week, Labour have been discussing the various amendments that they will or might be supporting, and also the DUP have potentially been talking to Labour as well. But first, if you find yourself enjoying the video, then please click the like button and subscribe to the channel. So when Boris Johnson begins introducing a bill in order to deliver on his so-called Brexit deal, MPs are to begin proposing amendments because no MP really trusts Boris Johnson, whereas what they want are guarantees, and they can put guarantees onto it via these amendments, which of course Boris Johnson will whip his MPs to vote against. Now, Labour have announced today that they are going to table a motion to attach the deal to a confirmatory vote. In other words, a second referendum. However, the devil is in the detail. I don't know what the detail is until I read it. This is the problem with politics sometimes. A politician says something and people just take it to mean what they think it means. There are gaps, it's ambiguous, and they fill in the gaps themselves and they go, oh great, that's what I want. Or, oh, this proves that that politician is an arsehole because they're doing this thing, which may not be exactly what they're intending. Now, I would assume that the motion would be what Labour's official policy is, that the legislation will be pre-approved by Parliament, but subject to a referendum with Remain as an option. It'll have to be worded so that it's legally watertight, but beyond it, that's it. So the idea is that Parliament then effectively, or Labour is saying, well, we will vote for your deal as long as it doesn't get implemented until the public say that this is the form of Brexit that they want. And the idea is the referendum takes place. If the result is Remain, it's all cancelled. Article 50 is revoked. If people say, no, we want to leave with this deal, we like this deal, then again, there's nothing else really for Parliament to do. It's all been pre-approved. It's all been voted for. So it effectively just happens. It's just a case of the admin. It wouldn't happen the next day, but probably like a couple of weeks. The admin would just be done and there would be it. And that would sound perfectly reasonable to anyone who genuinely wanted this deal. So we know that the intention is that the referendum pictures Boris Johnson's deal against Remain. That's what Sir Keir Starmer has said today. It doesn't seem to include no deal or May's deal. Now, there may be an argument, well, there definitely is an argument about it being irresponsible to put no deal as an option. However, there is a significant proportion of the country, and let's not pretend otherwise, who have been led to believe that a no deal is the real form of Brexit that they voted for. And they will genuinely feel that Brexit has been stolen from them as an option if it isn't on the ballot paper. That's pretty dodgy. You have got people who just very genuinely believe that no deal is the Brexit, that everything else isn't a proper Brexit, despite what they would have believed a couple of years ago. And from their point of view, they'll be thinking, well, I voted to leave. Now we've got this referendum to confirm it. All right, I'm okay with that. I mean, a lot of them aren't, but, you know, whatever. But hang on a minute. My option to leave isn't here. That's really unfair. You're basically giving me Hobson's choice. I Remain, or this deal that I've been told by my Brexit overlords is worse than Remain. So, and they will feel no matter how they vote, they may vote for the deal, but no matter how they vote, they will see, oh, well, a lot of those people who voted Remain actually didn't want to remain. They wanted to leave, but you didn't give them the option that they wanted. That is how it will be seen. And you will never stop that. You know, so personally, and I've said it before, I think it should be on. It's obvious that it couldn't possibly get a majority support. All Remainers would turn it down. All Remainers. And Remainers are really in the majority now. But even if you were still saying it was that 52-48, that 48%, all of them would not vote for no deal. And then quite a lot of the people who want to leave with a deal. There's no way no deal would win. Simple as that. But that's for the referendum amendment itself anyway. I'll tell you what wouldn't be acceptable. If it would be possible with their statement today. Because that's the thing, again, with politicians. It's not always what they say, it's what they don't say. If the amendment, and they've done this before, they've got form on this. If the amendment included a caveat, which would cause the amendment to fail. So, for example, they may table, well, they will, they've said they will table a motion to tie it to a confirmatory vote. But if they then put a bolt on, for example, something like, and a guarantee that we will stay in a customs union with the EU, then the motion will sink, because there'll be people who will go for a confirmatory vote who won't support it with that. Because there are people who want Brexit who would support another referendum to end the deadlock. But they don't want to have that type of Brexit determined by basically the Labour Party. And that is the worry, because we know that Jeremy Corbyn wants Brexit, and he still wants Brexit. Everything he's been saying up to now makes that clear. He'd prefer the Tories to cause it so that he, in his own mind at least, doesn't take the political flak. I think he absolutely would. We know that the bulk of the parliamentary party, including his own front bench, want a referendum, and that they want it to be completed before a general election. But more about that in a video tomorrow. So to comply with both the party policy but still chase his own unicorn, Jeremy Corbyn could say that the amendment has to have a commitment to a customs union, and therefore it won't win. And then you'll get the Brexiteers going, look, you've tried again for, a motion on a referendum and there isn't a majority for it. And it'll be purely down to the fact it'll be this other thing. Now, an amendment to attach any deal to a confirmatory vote has a very, very good chance of winning with Corbyn's full backing. Because remember, it still needs a lot of support. We could see from the Let Win motion vote yesterday, Boris Johnson has got his own Tory MPs under the thumb. Then they don't look like rebelling. He's got them. There are also some Labour rebels that are going to vote for him as well, and a couple of independents. What we need are the reasonable independents, which is the bulk of them, to get behind this. And that means that it's not got any Labour tack-ons to it. Simple as that. So Remainers obviously would jump at the chance of voting for a referendum. Brexiteers who genuinely want a deal would also support it. Only those who want a no deal or would refuse to rebel against Johnson would possibly be against it. So yeah, I would say don't rejoice just yet if you want another referendum. If the motion contains any clauses at all beyond the mechanics of another referendum, it will be another clear sign that Corbyn is still pushing ahead with Brexit. If the amendment is just about the referendum and it's given full support by the leadership, not just a weak, we'd like you to support this, proper full support, then it looks like the senior Labour MPs are finally starting to hold sway. But I am hopeful, albeit wary based on past experience, as I say. So Keir Starmer has said that Labour will be tabling other amendments as well. Now that suggests that each one will be an individual amendment and there'll be no double-barrelled motions there. Okay, well that'd be pretty good. So then we come to the DUP. So Labour have offered the DUP talks, so that now that they've been shafted by the Tories, they've sought out allies amongst the opposition benches. Labour have left the door open for them to negotiate action against this deal. But the DUP have said that they won't support another referendum. Now, this is what genuinely now baffles me. The DUP, of course, are not in favour of the UK being a member of the EU, really because they saw leaving it as a way to diverge Northern Ireland from the Republic of Ireland. It's really baffling. But they've had the shock of their lives, even though it was a surprise to very few other people. They are genuinely looking now at a future, having been shafted by the Tories, with a border up the Irish Sea and actually Northern Ireland diverging, not from the Republic of Ireland, it'll be tied to that, but diverging from Great Britain, in other words, the rest of the UK, and following rules that are going to be decided by the Republic of Ireland, but not themselves or the UK. And if there were to be another referendum, this outcome would almost certainly be knocked on the head. But they are refusing the most likely path to avoiding that divergence from the rest of the UK. There are and only ever were three Brexit options. One is a deal. Now, the deal right now currently means splitting off Northern Ireland from the rest of the UK. Two, no deal. But a no deal can't last. It will be chaos, it will be a disaster. As soon as people see this and there's proper protest, the government, they can't negotiate a free trade agreement quickly. It takes years. That means we have to come round to the notion of an interim arrangement whilst we negotiate the free trade agreement. What does that mean? That basically means we go back to the withdrawal agreement. We have to accept it. Remember, that withdrawal agreement now means splitting off Northern Ireland to the UK from the rest of the UK. Remember, A vote for no deal is ultimately a vote for one of the withdrawal agreements. Anyway, we've still got May's deal as a possibility. The third option is no Brexit. That is the only thing that keeps Northern Ireland aligned with the UK. Yes, in many ways it's also aligned with with the Republic of Ireland as well, but there is no way realistically to diverge those two. And by even attempting to do so, all you do is hasten reunification. But, that was the DUP. That was their thinking. They thought they could diverge Northern Ireland from the Republic. Madness. Absolute madness. A vote for Brexit is basically a vote for reunification. It's a vote for the split up of the Union. It may happen anyway now, but it is certain if Brexit occurs, and more quickly than would otherwise be the case. So the DUP's only hope is in stopping Brexit. I mean, of all the turkeys that have voted for Christmas over Brexit, whether it be workers in car factories whose jobs have now been lost, whether it be people working in fishing towns who's going to find that they've got no market for their fish, whether it simply be people who need medical care who are going to find that it's going to be difficult to get the medication they need. Of all the turkeys voted for Christmas, the DUP have been the most delusional, because it should be obvious to everyone you're not going to split off Northern Ireland from the Republic of Ireland after the Good Friday Agreement, and you can only, via Brexit, split off Northern Ireland from the rest of the UK. This was the inevitable step. What's happened with Boris Johnson's deal was inevitable. But there you go. Anyway, that's what the DUP and Labour's thinking is at the moment. We'll find out the details next week. Hope you found the video interesting. If you'd like to support the channel further, then please click on the Patreon link for details. And until next time, I'll see you later.